Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your attention, please? I'm going to call the meeting to order for December 17th, Town of Hempstead IDA. Please rise for the pledge in a moment. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Please, before we get started, keep a good thought for the wife of Fred Parola, who had an accident and is in surgery. She's expected to make a full recovery, but just keep a good thought for Noreen Parola at this time. Okay, so our agenda, as I hope we have a quorum. We're all good, just missing one person. Let's go to the Village of Freeport. Consideration of an extension of completion date and sales tax exemption extension for NBD Holding LLC, 435 Woodcleft Avenue, Freeport.
Good morning. I'm John Gordon from Forcelli Deegan Tirana in Uniondale on behalf of NBD Holding LLC. Here today requesting a one-year extension of the completion date and the sales tax exemption. We are currently working on potential changes to the project which have not yet been ironed out at this time, but the anticipations that we anticipate we're gonna come back with a full picture of what we're going to be doing going forward and work with staff on any changes that would necessitate. So as of now, we're just asking for a one-year extension to kind of, make sure that we're not out of compliance and to give us time to work all of that out.
Good morning, attorney, and thank you. Is your client here?
No, my client's not here today.
Okay. Nope, no worries. Counsel?
I just want to say for the record, I did receive a call from counsel's office, and I said to them that we don't need for the client to be here.
Understood. Just wanted to see if they were here and wanted to say anything in support. Board comments, questions about this request for a one-year extension? If not, can I get a...
I do have questions. When it says, essentially, the difficulty has been in the fact that interest rates went up since 2022, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so what efforts have been made? How many lenders are being spoken to? What is sort of the road ahead, or what does it look like right now as far as being able to resolve this?
So what the company is doing is basically trying to value engineer and just increase the amount of the number of units that can be contained within the project in order to increase the income to make it more financeable. So that's what we're working currently with the village on getting approvals for.
And I realize you probably can't go into specifics, but are they currently in talks with lenders or multiple lenders regarding this financing, or?
They've been speaking with lenders, but what needs to happen first is that the project has to be a little more concrete in terms of what they're going to be doing so that they can forecast what the income and expenses are going to be, and then go through the real final underwriting process. Any talks with lenders are more preliminary based on what the rates are and finances of the developer and things like that. So until the project's most likely they're going to be changing the layout. So they were thinking about possibly adding a floor. I don't think they're going to be doing that. But the way that the building was configured, it didn't fit as many rooms as it really could have. So they're trying to reconfigure. They're hoping to get a significant number of additional rooms that'll help add to the revenue and be able to support payments on financing.
I have a question. Go ahead, Jay.
About that, depending on the scope of the
When will the extension begin? What's the termination currently for the extension request of a year?
Currently, it's the end of this year.
End of this year. Can I request an update in the first part of 2025, like January, of what the status is and an update from your client?
We can, I don't know how much more info we're gonna have in January, but,
Can we say the first
certainly-
quarter?
First quarter, absolutely.
Okay.
We'll have much more info by then.
Staff, you good with that? Thank you, but a written response, a written reply to update and status. Any other further questions?
So can I just ask, though, on the record, is there concern on the part of your client regarding this transaction or this project not going forward?
I don't think there's a serious concern at this point that,
Okay.
that it wouldn't go forward. I think they're just, like I said, trying to, see if they can make this more efficient in the design.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further questions, comments? Mr. Mayor, I wanted to defer to you, of course.
Good morning, everybody. First, I just like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah to everybody, and a healthy New Year. Thank you again to the IDA. I've been working with NDB for several months. In fact, we've been calling them in and having meetings, updates on what's going to be done, how is it done, how much money's been invested. The bulkhead was done for about $4 or $5 million. The property was bought, buildings were knocked down, some other things. We've adjusted parking with the zoning boards. I know they want to go up another floor. We did approve additional one floor. I don't know if the second floor has been brought to the zoning board yet. But I don't think the village has any objection to extending it one more year. And we will be beating the drums during that period to make sure that this project moves forward and doesn't drag out much longer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Any further comment? So can I get a motion with the terms of, in consideration of an extension, a full report sometime during Q1 of 2025? That's agreed to?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a move?
So move.
Got a move? Those in favor?
Aye.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Aye.
Can I get a second? Jerry seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you and have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you, folks. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. For the record, one of our board members had to step away for a moment, just so it's recorded and notified. Okay, so for the Village of Hempstead, consideration of a temporary assignment of the pilot for Alphamore LLC, 50 Clinton Street, Hempstead, New York, to the court-appointed receiver, Harris Beach, PLLC. That was tabled from August.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Happy holidays to everyone.
Morning.
Good morning to the board. As the chairman had requested at the last meeting, they wanted just an extension of what we did with the list we originally provided of the work that was done on the property.
Just for the record, identify, please.
I'm sorry?
Just identify yourself for the record.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I've been here so much, I forgot. Keith Corbett, Harris Beach. As you know, this is the receivership at 50 Clinton Street here in the village of Hempstead, right in the middle of the downtown redevelopment zone. It's a property that's been dilapidated and not really had any repairs for about the better part of 16 years. When the court appointed us receiver, we now have the funds going into the property to obviously rejuvenate it. We have bids out to redo the parking garage, which is quite a mess if anyone passes Peninsula and Clinton over there. We also have bids out to repair the entire roof system, which is about as bad as it can get, as we've been working with the Village of Hempstead Building Department. As you know, we devised a plan. The former owners, not us, had defaulted on their pilots and their tax payments here with this IDA. I also have with me today the bank attorney, Mr. Brendan DeRiggi from Tillman Balin. We were able to work with the bank, work with the staff here at the IDA, and also work with the Village of Hempstead to come to we believe a resolution that this board so sees fit will benefit everyone. If the board were to extend the pilot and transfer it obviously to the receivership, only the receivership, we would be able to pay you the taxes and the penalties that are due and owing and continue to make current payment. It's the only way this board or the town residents probably see any type of return. The reason that is, if not, the court will issue Mr. DeRiggi's judgment of foreclosure and sale. The bank will then take a haircut on the property because they're not going to get the upset price of what they've already put into it. And most importantly, the residents of the Village of Hempstead are going to see that property fall back into ruins. And we've spent the better part of 18 months, almost 2 years now, putting money into the property. We've actually renewed 3 tenancies. We've actually had tenants come in to look at the property, which is something that's been new. You didn't see years before. We have the elevator system being fixed, sprinkler systems are being worked out with the fire marshal. This could really be a jewel at the front of the Village of Hempstead. So I know the board did request some information last time, maybe beyond what we were discussing, but I wanted to make sure the board, and specifically the representatives from Hempstead, had it. These are all the repairs and the funds that have been spent to date. I will let you know there's about $225,000 not reflected in here, and I'll tell you why, because we haven't paid those bills yet. This matches my accounting. Those funds will be paid, obviously, to the work that was done. That work primarily covered sprinkler systems and elevators, and you'll see a whole bunch of HVAC work that was already done. So we are hopeful, with the bank's counsel with me today, and I appreciate the bank's willingness to work on this project, because normally banks would want to remove the asset, that this board will, once and for all, approve the transfer of the pilot, so we can keep this building rejuvenated, the bank can recoup their money, and more importantly, your residents can get those tax payments in.
Thank you. Can I get the counsel from the bank to step forward, please?
Sure.
Good morning. Brendan DeRigi from Sir Tillman Ballin, counsel for Bethpage Federal Credit Union.
That was my question going to be, just wanted to ascertain. You're counsel for Bethpage?
Correct.
Correct. And you folks are in compliance, or not in compliance, in agreement with this proposal?
We fully support this application, yes.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
And that's reflective of Ms. Nicolino's position as well, correct? The counsel for Bethpage?
I'm counsel for Bethpage.
Okay.
Any questions? Counsel?
But I just want to make sure you understand, we don't have numbers yet, we will calculate them, that the arrears on the pilot with penalty are well more than $1 million. The current payment will have to be made as well. So that has to be paid.
The lender is well aware of that, and we anticipate making those protective advances on the owner's behalf as soon as the application, if it's approved. Thank you.
Any comment from staff?
Yeah. So the agency received the report this morning. It was emailed to you just prior to the meeting when we received it. We're just missing some of the requested information for the file. We need a full summary of the work, including the work that they are preparing to do. We're missing the schedule of work, which they said is requested on page 8, but I don't see it. I need a written status update on the sprinkler system, fire alarms, elevators, and they reflect exhibits within the work done, but those exhibits are also not attached. Yes, just to reiterate John Ryan's point, yes, the amounts due and owing to bring in the current is well north of that $5 million.
So again, 892 and change totally spent so far, 2.25 pending invoicing for the other sprinkler, elevator, firework, so we're well over $1 million. And arrears is what, 500,000 or north?
Way north of that.
Like,
And I believe the previous discussions we had with council were, once that is calculated within 30 to 45 days thereof, we would make sure that full payments are made to bring it current.
okay.
As you can imagine, Mr. Chairman, the amount of work that's gone into coordinating between the town, the village, and again, thanking the bank's council for their understanding, getting behind a plan that we believe allows everyone to at least win, better than everyone losing, which is where we are now. We're hopeful we can have a vote today, because I have spoken with the court, and the court is itching to sign that judgment of foreclosure and sale. I asked them to hold off after our last meeting, and after conversations I had with Mr. Ryan, which I was able to relay, so thank you to your counsel. But we're hopeful we can move this forward, so this property can continue to be invested in, so it could really be something that's proud of in the village.
We also will need the information to get the list.
Yeah, I was surprised there were things missing. Maybe it just didn't come in the printout. I have no problem filling in whatever gaps were reflected. Of course.
Any further questions from the board?
Just one question, Mr. Cohen. The 7th floor, what's the status on the 7th? With
Yeah.
the 7th?
Well, as you know,
Yeah.
more than anyone maybe on the board, the prior owner built out the 7th floor. When they built out the 7th floor, their grandfather for a sprinkler system in floors 0 through 6 expires. Now they have to sprinkler the whole building. So that 7th floor really became an albatross. I think it was, candidly, and I'll say it on the record, was another way for that prior owner to take some money out of the building, because he was the contractor who did the work.
So now all floors have to have?
All floors must be sprinklered, and as you can imagine, for the past 18 months, I've been in constant contact with the fire marshal to ensure they don't shut down the building. We have put safety measures in place. We're in the process of working out a plan. This building, as I've said multiple times in this record, sprinklers, elevator, HVAC system, the parking garage, you've seen the parking garage falling apart. I mean, all this money is going right back into the building that you see in those reports, and that sprinkler system now has to be done. That's a good $2.5 million project from 0 to 7 because they decided to build out a floor. And as Mr. Ryan could tell you, once you extend that grandfather, you have to do the whole building.
Thank you.
So it's fully completed. We will not let anyone enter it. We will not let anyone lease it until we have the sprinklers in place, and that's pursuant to the fire code.
Thank you.
Chairman, I'd also suggest that give an opportunity to the representatives of the Village of Hempstead, if they have any questions for council.
Yes, please. Please approach anybody that wants to speak from the electeds from the Village of Hempstead.
Thank you. And happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you.
In respect to the, I know that you said that the debt and everything was going to be paid. My question is to the tendency, will the tendency that you have coming into the building be able to pay the bills?
Yeah. Perfect question. The answer is, right now, we are, with the exception of the outstanding debts that are due on taxes, we are able to cover all the bills for the building currently. We barely squeak by to answer your question, but we got it to a place where we can cover the payments for the building itself. One of the things that really drained our resources, we could have put a lot more into that building, was PSE&G also had $500,000 in arrears. One of the first things we had to do when we took over the property, which I took it over in November of 23, Mr. DeRiggio will remember he was with me in December of 23, we had to almost hold PSE&G in contempt because, as member Millette will remember, they were about to shut off power to the entire building. There's 3 government agencies, 2 county agencies, and a town agency and a village agency, and they were going to shut power off. We had to bring them almost, hold them in contempt, and at that point worked out a back payment. So every month when we pay our PSE&G bill, we also pay an additional $25,000 towards the arrears. The benefit we got is we had the court order them that they can't collect penalties or late fees, and they washed out all penalties and late fees. So we just paid the true value of what was owed over a period of 6 years. We are finally almost coming up on the end of that. If we didn't have those arrears for PSE&G like we have for the town, and we didn't have to pay for the staff in the building, which is another issue that we have with the plaintiff, we'd probably be at a nice surplus. But we do have enough coming in on a monthly rent roll to cover the general expenses for that building.
And that's in writing?
I'm sorry.
Is that in writing? With the tenants and people that are there that are going to be staying or coming in?
Yes, yeah, it's in their lease agreements.
Any further comments from the folks from, please approach. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Wish you all a happy holiday. Joylette Williams, Village of Hempstead. I have a question about the approximate cost and when this work will be completed on the elevator, the fire alarm system, the fire sprinkler system, and additional work to be performed. Council has already requested a breakdown of the work and the itemized issues. I would like also a schedule, and I'm simply publicly requesting that, and when we can expect that schedule to have and receive that schedule so that we can make a further accurate assessment.
It seems that from the report, much of that work has been done and either yet to been invoiced or been invoiced and not yet paid, which is customary. So once those come in and this report's complete, I think it would make sense for us to share it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, this is kind of hot off the press.
Yes.
And so any documentation that we can receive, I'd greatly appreciate it, and so would my colleagues.
Noted and no problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else any comments? Trustees are fine from the Village of Hempstead? Any more further questions? Okay. Okay, so let's do this in an interesting motion. So, subject to the terms of a full and complete report that was mentioned by Edie, comments by our counsel, John Ryan, regarding all arrears. Is there a date for those arrear payments that we're going to request?
I'm going to work that out with council.
Well,
Make it subject to a date that I agree on with council.
and you'll report back in January. Excellent. Anything else we missed, board members, that we want to put in this motion for the record in order to extend? Anybody? Okay, can I get a motion to consideration of a temporary assignment of the pilot to Harris Beach and move forward. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I have to recuse myself? Yeah, all right. Do I mention I'm recusing,
Right?
I'm a tenant in the building?
Just again for the record, for my folks, our friends from the village, you're voting in the affirmative? Yes? Great, for the record, so it's unanimous, one abstention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Have a good holiday.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yep, thank you. Okay. Okay, consideration of an extension of the completion date for Main Street Hempstead Apartments, 257 Main Street, Hempstead, New York.
Good morning again. John Gordon for Chelly Deegan Tarana in Uniondale. This is a similar case to the one before the request. This is in the village of Hempstead. This transaction closed with the agency in 2021. And also ran into issues with delays due to inflation, general costs of materials, and most importantly, interest rates. So the company is working with the village of Hempstead to try to expand the scope of this project and make it more financeable, increase the income that it can generate so that it can support construction and permanent financing. Those applications are still underway, so we're asking for time. We're estimating that the time to get all the approvals and actually complete would put us at the end of 2027, and this is set to expire, our outside completion date is the end of this year. So that's why the request for the 3 years on this.
Okay. Before I open up the questions for the board, does anybody from the village of Hempstead want to approach and make comment at all?
Again, Kevin Boone, Village of Hempstead, happy holidays. Just wanted to find out, what is the holdup on the completion of the project?
Basically, they're expanding the scope, so they're going to add more apartments, more units. They haven't been able to get the construction financing based on the current design, so they went back to the drawing board, so to speak, to to try to get a larger building approved here so that it's more capable of being financed. And that process is still underway.
And all of this has been approved by the building department thus far with the extension?
Well, the extension is not something that they're putting through the building department. That's really an IDA deadline. But they are working with the building department on the redesign, and we think that the building department's being very receptive to what our new plans are looking like. It's just kind of a matter of going through the process, and that takes time.
Any further comments from the board?
Chairman, if I can.
Yes, please.
There's going to be a substantial change in the scope of this project, which is estimated in the application or amended application.
Okay. Any comments from the IDA board members? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the extension?
I'll make.
Jill made a motion. Can I get a vote? Those in favor? Sorry, I need a second, apologies.
I'll second it.
Jerry, second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? We got one opposition? Are you in favor or no? I'm sorry. So all three? So all three can just do the affirmative verbally, so for recording purposes, all three of you are opposed? Okay, thank you. I think the ayes have it, based upon the numbers. Discussion, anything else? Motion carries.
Thanks. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, new business, applications, transaction resolutions, and presentations. Consideration of an authorizing resolution for Ocean Avenue Marina, Bridgeview Land Development, 50 and 80 Waterfront Boulevard, Island Park, New York. This project was authorized at the last meeting, however, the sound was not working on the live stream recording of the meeting, so it looks like we're going to have another quick presentation for posterity.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, board members, Peter Curry, Barrel Fritz, 400 RXR Plaza, Uniondale, New York. As the chairman stated, we did bring this before the board last month. Since that time, the project has taken on a group of investors, approximately 20% of the interests, and as a consequence of the legal merger of those entities, the applicant is now called Bridgeview Land Development, LLC. That is really the only change in the entire application process. Again, it's 117 units, very close to the Long Island Railroad Station in the unincorporated area of Island Park. There are 74 one-bedrooms, 43 two-bedrooms, and Camoin, you have a Camoin report, you have an MRB report, which we have submitted in support of the application. The Camoin report estimates that 104 units would be new to the town of Hempstead. This project will replace an existing catering facility which closed down in June of 2024. The project also requires that we increase the grade well above sea level. If you recall, at the last meeting, we discussed the number of insurance claims that had to be placed on this property over the last several years due to the fact that it's very low to the ocean and storms that occurred and that really damaged it time and time again. The project cost is approximately $55 million, and Camoin allocated 70% of the hard construction costs to the town, or $32 million and change. So the total impact of the project during construction would be earnings of more than $15.5 million, sales of more than $41 million. The annual spending of the 104 new tenants in the town would be almost $2.9 million with a $6.1 million annual effect. The maximum number of school children would be 11, although I don't think there are any in the other, or maybe one or two in the other project which was brought before the town. Right now, there are 660 students in the district, and that increase would be less than 1.7%. At this time, we are asking for a final authorizing resolution with sales tax, mortgage tax, and a pilot. I will note that this project is being actively, the loan documents are being actively negotiated now, and we anticipate closing this very promptly after authorization.
Excellent. Thank you, Attorney Curry. Any comments or questions? First, let me say two things. Apologies for the sound recording challenges, and also thank you for you as a private investors and your team for committing back to the town of Hempstead and to Nassau County and Island Park in particular. So thank you for what you do. Appreciate that. Can I get a motion in favor? Jerry makes the motion. A second?
Second.
Reverend makes a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you to the members of the board.
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the board. Happy holidays. I really appreciate it. Doing a good thing for Island Park.
You're welcome, and thank you for your commitment. Okay. Anything else, Attorney Curry? You good?
I'm also on your next item, next agenda item.
Thank you. Presentation by Peter Curry, Farrell Fritz, regarding 25 Wanzer LLC, which is considered 25 Wanzer Avenue, Inwood, Town Zoning Moratorium. Attorney Curry, thank you.
So this application was approved by the agency in 2021. We closed with the agency in 2021 in December and acquired the property at that time. The board may recall that there was an overlay zone, an overlay district that was enacted for Lawrence and parts of Inwood called Article 43 of the Building Code Ordinance of the Town of Hempstead. And they were trying to add transit-oriented development to those two areas. That article was in full force and effect at the time we closed. Consequently, the applicant went ahead with its site plans. This is form-based site plan, so all it had to do was comply with the regulations in the site plan, and it would get an automatic approval to build the building. They spent at least $25 million to acquire the property, another $5 million or so in developing it. In September of '22, the town placed a moratorium on that article, and then in this year, on November 19, 2024, the town has repealed that article without provision for grandfathering. This, of course, would be a prime example of what should have been grandfathered since the project had been approved and was compliant with the zoning at that time. We believe that this is a force majeure event under the IDA documents, and that therefore there is no obligation for the IDA to terminate the documents due to the inability to meet the original completion date, which obviously was a couple of years ago. So at this time, we are asking that the agency forbear from defaulting 25 Wanzer as a result of everything described in the letter and this presentation. And basically, we're asking that a new completion date be established once the matter is resolved. This matter is under litigation between the applicant and the town of Hempstead to require that the town grandfather this project. Not seeking anything with regard to any other project, but given the status of this at the time, we will be seeking the relief of grandfathering, and we ask that the agency wait until the issue is resolved so we can establish a new completion date.
Thank you, Attorney Curry. For the record, who is your client in this matter at 25 Wanzer
It's
LLC?
25 Wanzer LLC. It's an affiliate of the Heatherwood organization, which is a well-known developer on Long Island that actually has another project before this agency in West Hempstead, and I've represented their projects in Suffolk County and other places. They're a third-generation developer. They've been on Long Island and New York City since the 1920s, and have a great reputation. And actually, the reputation was one of the reasons why they decided to go ahead with that project. They had a lot of support at that time.
Thank you.
I'd just like to, I concur with everything Mr. Curry said. I've also been privy to conferences and meetings regarding the litigation. This is a situation which clearly this applicant did not want to be in, forced in, had to deal with. So I'm certainly recommending that the application be granted. I'd only say, though, maybe rather than an open-ended grant, that we grant it to a period of time, maybe mid-year or next year, and at that point in time, Mr. Curry can come back and tell us where he's at, and go from there.
Well, I'm hoping that Mr. Ryan has resolved the issue by then, but.
I have no power to do that. Don't rely on me.
Okay, any other comments from the staff or board? Anybody? So I'm going to suggest that we don't open it as council recommends, and shall we say June 30? So I'm going to make a motion to accept with a report back and an end date of June 30, 2025. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Excellent. Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Excellent. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board. Thank you, John, and happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you very much. Okay, new business for our board. The CEO's report. I'm sorry? I'm sorry, I have the, shoot, I have an old one. All right, my apologies, I have an old agenda. Consideration of a tenant consent for Valley Stream Green Acres, Aldo US 2034 Green Acres Mall.
For those of you that don't know, Aldo is a shoes and bag accessory store. They're 2,170 square feet within the mall itself. And they're asking to have 9 full-time employees, 9 employees, 5 full-time, 7 part-time.
Okay. Comments from the board? Council?
Aldo is a great store.
Yes.
I love shopping there.
Me too.
I got that sense when you brought it up, that you like shopping. I thought it might have been I thought it might have been a typo for Aldi, but that's a different genre. Anyway, so,
I'll make the motion.
thank you, sir. A second, please?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent, motion carries. Now we can do new business. Thank you, folks. So, the CEO's report.
The CEO report is, as explained, there'll be a couple of adjustments because we took some action on some of the projects that are listed there. Those adjustments will be made for the next meeting. We're going into a very quiet season for the next 2 weeks. But after that, we have many projects that will probably close early next year. And just for the record, we've made budgets for this year already.
Excellent, as of this date. Excellent, that's great, thank you. Okay, consideration of a resolution to pay Massa and Associates for a 2024
This one,
what do I have?
residential evaluation.
Shoot, I'm sorry, I have an old,
If you guys could fill that out and return it today.
yes,
Confidential.
yes.
You want to just fill them out and leave them with them or collect them after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Consideration of a resolution to pay Massa and Associates required for 2024 update to actuary report, subject to GASB 7475.
So this is a requirement of our pending audit. We entered into this contract with NASA for a number of years at this point. We don't get the same partner every year, so the actuary report is actually reviewed differently by each of the individual partners, and it coincides with the contract for Sheehan and Company, which is next on the agenda.
Excellent. Consideration of resolution to approve the contract with Sheehan and Company.
Nope, we need a vote.
Sorry for that last one. Okay, can I get a vote for the consideration of a resolution to pay Massa and Associates?
So move.
Second?
I second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of resolution to approve the contract with Sheehan and Company for the 2025 contract for the 2024 audit.
So this is the contract that we've had with the auditing company. It's not our year to switch partners, but we recently did do that. They will handle the state report, the information that's required for all the ABO information. They will do our audit for the 24 calendar year and everything happening through 2025.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve the contract with Sheehan and Company? Motion, please. Jerry makes the motion. Second? Thank you. Those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Consideration of a resolution to approve the 2025 contract with Giovata Agency for website maintenance.
We have a very good relationship with Steve Early and the team over at Giovanni, and staff recommends that we keep them on board to maintain and update our website. If there are any issues, we reach out very quick and expeditious to fix those issues we have. So we recommend that the board please approve this. It's $5,000 a year for the IPA and the LDC each.
Great. I also make a comment and thank you for your response to that access email that you had sent to the board regarding the,
Handicap accessible.
thank you, sir. We are in compliance for the record, in case anybody asks. So thank you for that, Michael. Comments, questions before we make a motion? Can I get a motion to approve the resolution for the contract with Giovata Agency?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of a resolution to approve the 2025 contract with Todd Shapiro and Associates for PR services. Comments? All good?
We reached out to Mr. Shapiro and his team. They did provide us with a breakdown of future items they'll be working on for us, or kind of a game plan. Did forward it to the board, and it comes back. If you have anything else you'd like him to do, let us know.
Thank you.
Correct. I think he misunderstood. We had asked for what you had done in 2024, and instead they gave us a projection of what we're looking to do moving forward.
Gotcha.
So I did respond to that, explain that to them, but they didn't respond to that.
May I make a suggestion that we, in the future, we ask them for a quarterly report on activities in real time? So at the end of every quarter for 2025, how many posts he did, how many ribbon cuttings were we invited to, how many articles were placed, et cetera. Quarterly, I think, is fine, unless you guys think otherwise.
We'll add that to the language within the resolution.
Thank you. Is quarterly acceptable to the staff?
Yes.
Great, excellent. Okay, so
I
make,
think I received the report regarding what the agency has been doing or what they're planning to do.
I can send that back out to you.
it was in a monster 151-page PDF, if I'm not mistaken.
It's pretty long.
151 pages. Thank you.
It's a 151-page report just.
No, it was in a PDF of 151. It was in there.
I'll send it back to you.
Okay.
Thank you. So subject to those comments about having a quarterly report going forward for activity, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Great, second.
I'll second.
Anybody, those in favor? Those opposed?
I'm going to vote nay. I realize I'm by myself on this.
That's
but-
okay. Free country. Anybody abstain? Okay, motion carries. Consideration of a resolution to pay for the 2025 NYESD annual membership.
The annual membership is actually based on the budget of the agency. Ours has been flat for a number of years now because our budget does not exceed the $1 million mark. So the amount that we paid out would be $1,750.
Excellent, 1750. Can I get a motion, comments or questions? Could I get a motion to accept and approve the resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Jerry makes the motion, second.
I'll second.
Great. Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstentions? Motion carries. Consideration adoption of the 2025 meeting schedule.
Marlon has painstakingly worked this out around all the many holidays that have reared their head. So, we think it's a good schedule. If we have to change, we can always adopt a resolution at the previous meeting to make an adjustment.
Excellent. Any comments about that at all, folks? Board members, staff, beyond that? Is there a resolution, motion need to be made for that?
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the 2025 meeting schedule for the Town of Hempstead IDA?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of the sexual harassment policy.
The policy remains unchanged. For those who have not completed their sexual harassment training, please do so hopefully by the end of the year. I'm included because I got all the way to page 110 and want to start adding tropes. So I'm going to do it again, obviously.
Okay.
And so it remains unchanged.
Excellent, thank you. Any comments from the board? Can I get a motion to approve the sexual harassment policy adoption?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Excellent. Anybody abstain? Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of the standard project procedures.
That's the procedures that the agency staff follows when they're doing an application. It's really in terms document that we use to guide us through all the applications to make sure everything's consistent and standard.
Any changes?
No.
Thank you. Can I get a vote, a motion to accept the adoption of the standard project procedures, please?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, sir. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? No. No opposition. Anybody abstain? No. Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of the records retention and disposition policy.
As you recall, 2 years ago, we entered into a project that we archived our documents that we were holding in paper form to electronic form, and created a database for that, which makes it easier for us to look up stuff. That is an ongoing process, and this policy reflects the wishes of the agency and the laws of the state of New York.
Thank you. May I get a motion to adopt the records retention and disposition policy?
I'll make
A second, please.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Excellent. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Appointment of a records management officer.
As a result of that project, we needed a records management officer, and Art was the last to do roles.
Thank you for being volunteered. Can I get a comment or anybody from feedback on that appointment? I would just say, Arlen, thank you for doing that. Appointment of the records manager, can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
A second, please.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Being that these salary increases are uniform, is it possible to do together, or should I do them all separately? Your call, okay, no problem. Consideration of a salary increase resolution for Frederick Parola. Just for the record, it's 3%?
It's all 3% straight across the board, that's been told.
Thank you. Comments? Okay, can I get a motion to accept?
So move.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Anybody, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of a salary increase resolution for Edith Longo.
So move. So move.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Sounds like, anybody abstaining? No. Motion carries. Consideration of a salary increase resolution for Lorraine Rhodes. Comments? Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Great. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Can I get, those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries.
As a side note, Lorraine is not here because she had foot surgery and she's had a very mild complication that requires her to be off of her feet. So she is hopefully doing what she's going to do.
Thank you. Consideration of a salary increase resolution for Arlen Ames. Comments? Can I get a motion?
So move.
Excellent. Can I get a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of a salary increase resolution for Michael Lodato. Can I get a comment? Anybody? Motion?
So move.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Consideration of a salary increase resolution for Laura Tomeo. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion carries. So on behalf of the board, you're very welcome. For the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you, thank you very much for your hard work. Old business. Any other new business, by the way? We're good? Discussion and consideration of a trust account for post-retirement health insurance benefits. This was tabled since February.
Yeah, this is proving to be a little bit more difficult than we anticipated, so we're just still trying to sort through the best way to know that. I think it's gonna require some meetings that probably are not gonna yield any positive results, but we're not giving up the thought of putting this into a protected account for them to use.
Okay. There's no motion, but may I suggest that we have a review January?
Yeah,
Or just,
we can try. Barry and I have had several conversations about this, and that road might not work.
Okay.
We're trying to do something else, and I don't know if that will.
okay,
This is an out-of-the-box thought process.
understood. Reading and approval of the minutes of previous meetings. Consideration and adoption of the minutes of November 19, 2024.
Mr. Chair, I move that we waive the reading of the previous meeting and the board adopts the item.
Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank
Second.
you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Report of the treasurer. Financial statements and expenditure list from November 13 to December 10th, 2024. Mr. Treasurer?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to commend the board for doing a great job as always. All looks great, and thank you for a great year.
Can I get a motion? That was the motion. Sorry. Can I get a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Attorney, do we need an executive session?
No, but I just want to report that in terms of the Valley Stream School District litigation, the matter is now adjourned to January 10th. My papers on behalf of the IDA will be filed, certified by that date, as well as by the applicant. Will then be fully submitted to the court for decision, likely not to have a decision maybe 3 to 6 months.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that report. Committee updates? We're good? Nothing to report? Unless there's anything further, can I get a motion to adjourn the December 17th IDA meeting of the town of Hempstead?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Those in favor? Aye. Those, anybody opposed? None. Anybody abstaining? None. Motion carries. Thank you, and Happy New Year, Happy Holiday, all that stuff. All that stuff, that's yours.
We have the LDC.
Stay at the LDC now.
Yes, I'm aware. Are we on time? Are we early or no? So for some reason, for the record, my agenda is old and complete. May I get a quick copy, just if you've got one? I'll even take a picture, never mind. My partner in crime here has it. Thank you, sir. Yes, we're late, actually, 11 o'clock. Okay, so I want to call to order the December 17th, 2024 Town of Hempstead Local Development Corporation Board Meeting. We have announcements, we have a quorum, I think we're good. There's no public comment, I don't believe, nobody's here. Roll call and intent, new business. Consideration adoption of the 2025 LDC meeting schedule.
This mirrors the IDA's meeting schedule, same dates, obviously, but a half hour later, or the following Monday.
Excellent, thank you. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Confidential board member evaluation forms distributed.
These are the same forms that the IDA had given you in the packets. Please fill those out and get them back to the main.
2 copies, 1 of each for each organization, correct? IDA, LDC? Thank you. Any comments, questions? Okay, can I get a motion to accept?
You don't have to do much on that.
Right, there's no consideration adoption, all right. Consideration of a salary increase for Frederick Parola.
Move to accept.
Second.
Does he get another 3%?
Freddie are employees of the LDC where Laura, myself, and all of them are accountants. So the way the resolution is written, 3 of us get the exact same amount as we do in our IDA hourly wage, but each and Freddie separate because they're employees.
Understood. So there's no motion required for Frederick Parola?
No, there is.
There is?
Just for Freddie.
Okay, so comments, concerns, questions? All right, can I get a motion to accept the salary increase for Frederick Parola?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion carries. Consideration of a salary increase for Edie Longo. Thank you. Comments? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, and thank you both. Consideration and readoption of the LDC sexual harassment policy.
No changes. It's a state template that we all use.
Excellent, thank you. Comments from the board? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Great, can I get a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of the 2025 LDC contract with Sheen & Co. for preparation of the 2024 audited financials and Paris review.
As Mrs. Longo has said prior, we're very happy with she and company and the change partner, every few years. We don't keep Longo at first thought.
Excellent. Comments, questions, concerns? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of the 2025 LDC contract with Giovanni for website hosting and maintenance.
This is also similar to the IDA contract, which was approved prior, $5,000 a year for the maintenance and hosting of the website, and we are very happy with Giovanni.
Great, and this website also is compliance again. Thank you very much for the record. Comments or questions? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration and readoption of the LDC standard product procedures.
There are no changes.
Thank you. Comments? Excellent. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of the LDC record retention and disposal policy.
This policy mirrors the IDA's policy as well as the officer in the next line.
Two separate motions, though, correct? Thank you. We'll get to that one in a second. Can I get a motion to accept? Sorry, can I get a motion?
I'll make motion.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Consideration and adoption of a resolution appointing an LDC record retention and disposal officer. Comments or questions? Thanks and praise. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Abstention? Motion carries, and thank you. Informational update on the joint effort between the Town of Hempstead LDC and the Department of Occupational Resources to assist in career planning, occupational skills, training programs, career and computer skills workshops, and other training programs that may be created or available to the residents of the Town of Hempstead.
It's just information, right?
Just informational, nothing to vote on. Every few months, I like to supply you guys with an updated report from the top of the door to your packets, all the ongoings of what we're doing with the joint pilot we have going on.
I should know this, but Door is Town of Hempstead? Thank you. Comments, concerns, no motion required? Information in our packet, thank you. Consideration and approval of the minutes of October 22nd, 2024.
Chairman, I move that we waive the reading of the previous minutes and the board adopt the item.
Can I get that was the motion. Can I get a second? Second, please?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. The report of our treasurer for October 16, 2024 to December 10th, 2024.
Again, I want to commend the staff for doing a great job and a great year, and that's my report. All is well.
Is that a motion?
That's my statement.
Can I get a motion?
You don't need, yeah, it's just a report.
Excellent. Any committee updates? There's no need for executive session here. Anything further? Comments, questions, concerns? Excellent. So I make a motion to adjourn. Oh, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you so much to the staff.